Alright, so guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're in the second, we call it second, no, it's episode 2 of Q&A. And today, actually, I'm not the one gonna answer the question because I have my friend Josh Mill here, come to visit me, and he a professional photographer, and let's get started.
Hello everybody, I am Josh Mills. I am a photographer here in New Jersey. I do primarily commercial portraiture, all genres. I like to do beauty and fashion, but I also do a little bit of everything from swimwear to boudoir.
Alright, so the topic of this time is on about the lighting modifier. Mm-hmm. So the first question from Francisco Plaza Rosado.
Best brand in balance, quality, and price.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that he's asking balanced over price and quality. Like what's the best bang for the buck?
Yeah, that's when you come to the question like that, it's supposed to be like more specifically about like what rank of the price,
right?
Because if you say like price is a lot, maybe from the very cheap price to very super expensive price,
right?
It's really hard to say about that. But we can go for like an example for like an entry level.
Right. I mean, honestly, price varies tremendously from, what, Cowboy Studio off of Amazon. You can buy them cheap. You can get in the middle. There's a lot of really good stuff from Adorama and B&H and Cheetah, and then if you've got deep pockets, you can go really high end, like the Elinchron and the Broncolor. Their modifiers, Pro Photo modifiers. They specifically make them for their lighting, but they're also ridiculously expensive too. So, I mean, good middle of the road. Duke and I are both big fans of the Cheetah stand. It's a really good product, really good materials, and a really good price point. They're not cheap, but they're not super expensive either.
To me, that I think that we can put that into kind of like we call the entry level, which means like if you have to a budget about like 500 and less, so you can, because 500 doesn't mean like you don't like spend like $500 for one modifier.
Right.
It means like you can set up some kind of very decent setup, like 2 or 3 lights. And the quality to me is, I'm not gonna say like the quality is the same in all of the different brands, but for me, I've been using Cheetah stand for like 4 years now. I think 4 years already, and I never had any of them broken or defective,
right,
or something like that ever.
And I will tell you, whenever I first started out years ago, and I was learning off-camera flash, I bought the cheapest stuff I could find. I was buying, no-name stuff off of Amazon and eBay. Then I started buying Impact, which Duke just brought up from, I believe it was B&H at the time. I was buying the Impact softboxes because they were cheap. And the thing is that, yeah, they did the job, but they didn't last. One, they were difficult to put together with the rods and the speed rings, but just the little Velcro holders that the rod slipped into, the stitching would break loose and they would punch through, and then your modifier was done. You're replacing it or trying to fix it yourself. So it's better to invest in something that's going to last you years, even if it's still, kind of an entry level.
Yeah.
Cheetah stand, $500, the price point you brought up, you can easily get 3 or 4 really nice modifiers for $500 from Cheetah.
Oh, in fact, actually, we're using one of Cheetah.
Yeah, actually.
Softbox right now for video anyway. All right, so move on to the next question. This question from Eric Yashar. Which modifiers do I use to light a person full body without shadows?
Without shadows?
Without shadow, yeah.
For a full body, if you're talking head to toe, I would say that you're kind of limited on your options without shadows. If you're talking about a single light setup, you need a really big umbrella and have it almost directly in front of them so that you're wrapping completely around them with the light.
Yeah, I think this question is more likely like it have to go back to one of the knowledge about using the light, which is the shadow soft or harsh or more or less is based on the relationship between the side of the subject and the side of the light source. Right.
And it's not only the size of the light source, but it's also the distance of the light source from your subject. Because the further your light source gets away from your subject, the smaller it becomes in relation to your subject. So if you're wanting to shoot a full body, if you did a 7-foot umbrella, parabolic umbrella, and you did it where the umbrella is 7 to 10 feet away from your subject, you're going to light them very well head to toe and not have really any shadow on them. So, I mean, once you start to back it up, then you're losing that softness of light. A really good rule of thumb for your modifiers is the diameter of your modifier, 1 to 1.5 times that diameter is how far you want it from your subject to have a nice, good, soft transition of shadow to highlight and the best quality of light from that modifier. So if it's a 48-inch modifier, you want that modifier to be between 4 foot to 6 foot from your subject for a really good quality of light. Now it can be closer and you'll get even softer transitions, but the further you get past that, the more harsh the transition and the harder the shadow will be.
This is the question actually left over from the episode 1, because Jeff Hansen asked me about just the same thing happened. He asked me about the model with the Santa hat, but in the same time I posted 2 models, different models with Santa hat, so I picked the other one.
So who is that? Jesse Hansen?
Yeah, Jesse Hansen. And then now in this time he asked me again with actually the same. It's the actual photo of
Tish Tash.
Yeah. And the last question he asked me about how I can create very soft edged line on this photo. And now anyway, in this photo it's a very normal setup that I usually do. That I use the strip box on behind the model on the side to create the rim light. And it's about the same with the question earlier that Josh just talked about the soft and the harsh light. That if you move the softbox, the strip softbox, as close as you can to the model, is softer. And in this case, I believe that I use the 1x4 feet strip box, so it's the big one, so it creates a very soft light. And if you don't want to be like true angle with the model, so you can get, if you want like more like in this, I think in this shot I move the light more on the side of the model. Yeah. So it's not true angle.
Right. And another thing is you weren't really firing it directly on her. You probably had feathered it onto her. So basically the edge of the softbox was lined up where he wanted the light to fall, instead of directly pointed at where he wanted the light to fall, because that creates a very hot and very contrasty light.
So the next question, prices modifiers versus
pricing modifiers versus cheapos of the same rough size and shape by Louis Hochman or Hodgman?
Hochman. Yeah.
All right. Duke and I were actually talking about this just a little bit before we started recording, and I immediately jumped on just the durability of it, and then you pointed out some really good points that it's not just durability, because I mean you can buy cheap modifiers and they're only going to last you so long, like I was talking about previously. But Duke pointed out some really good points that it's also the material and the quality of light that's produced by them. Yeah, you get the same look of light, but you also have issues with color temperatures.
Yeah.
So
I by so many years that I'm using this, I noticed I do have some cheap modifier that I bought about 7 years ago when I first moved to America, and I bought it off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of like no name or what is the name? The Cowboy Studio.
Cowboy Studio.
Yeah, I still have some of them in the closet, and even I haven't used them for a year, and it's still like in the very dry condition in my house.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like the diffusion from white it turned into yellow.
Yeah.
And I believe that all of the material, the silver material inside, it's starting to have some ding kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white diffusion panel, the cheaper white diffusion panel, it yellows quickly, and that's actually from the light itself that creates that. The more you shoot through it, the yellower it'll get. And then, like you said, the silver reflective on the inside of it, like I was saying to you earlier, on the cheap ones, they tend to have a very smooth silver lining, which doesn't give you the best reflective surface for the light to come out of the modifier. The better modifiers actually have that pebble silver, which disperses the light better and reflects it out more evenly.
It's more like diffuses. Okay, moving on. Daniel
Madrano.
When would you use a softbox versus an umbrella versus a parabolic umbrella versus a beauty dish? Kind of very long.
Yeah, and that's a hard one to answer too. All right, so when would you use a softbox versus an umbrella versus a parabolic umbrella versus a beauty dish? Well, if you are talking about all of them being the same size, let's take that factor out of it. So they're all the same size, so you can compare them. I mean, if we take out that factor and say that every one of them is 24 inches, let's just say 24 inches. So I'm assuming that when he says softbox, we're going to say that's a square softbox.
Okay.
All right. And then it's going to be
a small umbrella.
We are going umbrella, parabolic, beauty dish. So, I mean, we could say like a small octabox or, you know.
Yeah.
So.
We can put it in the fact that they have the same size.
Yeah, they're all.
But the beauty dish is not going to be huge. It's supposed to be like under like 30 inches.
Yeah,
something.
Exactly. That's why I said 24 inches. That's a nice, good spot to just call it. So, I mean, basically it's going to be the look of the light that you want from it. So, you know, a regular 24-inch octaboxer like the soup bowl, or is it the rice bowl? It's the shallow one.
A 26 inch actually.
Yeah,
it's the soup bowl one.
Soup bowl, the shallow one.
The shallow one.
All right. So we'll say that versus a umbrella. You're going to have a little bit softer light from just is it a shoot-through umbrella or is it a bounce umbrella?
We need specifics.
Yeah, we need specifics here. Let's say a bounce umbrella.
Yeah.
I mean, we could say shoot-through to make it really different.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's very easy to see in the first place that doesn't matter when any kind of the bounce back umbrella that with the umbrella that you not really like control the direction of the light.
Yeah, exactly.
And with the any kind of the deeper umbrella, like parabolic shape, it's gonna be more narrow the light the way you want.
Right, exactly. It just allows you to control where your light spills. So if you've got a shallow umbrella or a shallow softbox, you're going to get a lot of spread unless that softbox has a grid on it. Whenever you go into a parabolic shape, you're going to have a narrower beam of light. You're able to control it more. You can still get soft from it by having it very close to your source. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is I bought that the 48-inch parabolic soup bowl, the Cheetah, and I love that thing. Yeah, if you pull it back, it's very directional in the way it throws light, but you bring it in really close, it's still a nice soft wraparound.
Yeah.
A beauty dish. Beauty dishes, they just have their own look. And honestly, the only thing that I find a beauty dish useful for is very close, tight headshots. Whereas the other three options, they give you a little bit more spill and a little bit softer transition, so I find that those would be more useful for a little bit more of a pulled back shot. You know, if we're talking a 24-inch, you can do a half body or even a 3/4 body with those, depending on how much fall off you like. So Gary K. Howie.
Yeah.
All right. I'm very new to off-camera flash and have 24 and 32-inch softboxes, but do not fully understand when I should use one of them over the other. Any help would be appreciated.
Well, it's similar to the previous question.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think the 24-inch and 32-inch is not much
No,
different. I don't really see the difference. Because it's just like
you're talking about
10-inch.
3 inches of radius added to it, so it's not really a whole lot of difference. If you were talking about a 24 versus a 42 or a 48 or larger, then yeah, there's a significant difference there. But 24 to 32,
yeah. But you know, usually we say like the bigger, the softer. If you looking for like a softer light.
Yeah.
Just go with the bigger one.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, if someone's looking to get just their first softbox, I would say like that 32 to 36 is a great like first softbox.
Yeah.
It's great overall, just you know, to have if you can only have one softbox to start off with.
Yeah, you can go to the the last question.
All right, Jerry Marshall Ward.
What brands is comparable to the Glow 38-inch Parapop in light quality? So the light quality, I think in here is that we're talking about the soft light and the hard light, not the light quality.
Yeah, because the Glow Parapop, that's the 38. I didn't know that there was a 38. I thought it was a 36.
It's 36, I think. I mean, anyway, it's just
roughly, but I mean that's. There's several brands that all make that general size. Like Cheetah has the same one in their quick set series, and
I don't know I never use the glows. I think I only use one. Actually, I will having Francisco one shot in back in New York.
Yeah.
And I holding the light, and I didn't even pay attention on. The glow is a deep one or the solid one.
Mm-hmm.
They only have the solid one, right? Not the deep one.
No, they have a parabolic now.
Parabolic.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I assume that this one is not the parabolic. It's a solid one.
I think it's the shallow one.
So it's the solid one. I think it's 30. In Cheetah stand, they have the soup bowl with the 26. And 34,
right,
and then 42.
Right.
There are 3 sizes that they have for
and that's the shallow.
For the shallow one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go with the deep one, the deep parabolic, is they have the.
Of course, this does say Parapop, so that may be a parabolic. I'm not familiar because.
So if you go with parabolic, so on Cheetah stand they have the rice bowl series, which is you go with the quick rice bowl. They have the 20-inch, which is the Mark 20.
Yeah.
And then they have the 36.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 48.
48, yeah.
So I assume that the 36.
The 36 rice bowl would be comparable.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite one.
Yeah.
I like that side.
Other than that, light quality, if you were looking outside of those two brands, the Westcott Orbs. The Apollo Orb 42, it's actually more of a bounce umbrella type. I mean, it's a parabolic, but it mounts and you fire back into it. It's not a speed ring connection, but it gives you basically the same kind of light coming out. So.
Yeah, actually, there are a lot of companies making the soft boxes in parabolic shape.
Mm-hmm.
Godox, they have one.
Yeah, Godox. Yeah, the Godox, the Glow series from Adorama, and Cheetah Stand all have very similar designs with small differences. You know, like one might use Velcro for this fastener, whereas one might use snaps, where one might use hooks.
They're very close.
They're very close. Like their design is very, very similar. The materials they use and the fasteners they use is where they really kind of vary a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that's kind of why Cheetah Stand is the top out of those three, because I've worked with all three, and the material just feels better. It seems like it's a better build quality. I like the way that they did some of their fasteners.
One of the reasons that I used Cheetah Stand for years is because they have very good customer service.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really huge company,
Right?
but they really try to do a lot with the customer service, which is like, it's not just me. You just go on the internet and you can see like people really like the way that they support customer. No one gonna be perfect. Mm-hmm. Here and there you have some customer not happy, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like any other brand or anything, you can pick it yourself.
These are absolutely, like Duke said, these are our personal opinions from our personal experiences.
All right, thank you, Josh, for joining me today.
Thank you for the coffee and having me over.
Q&A. I love doing this, and I don't know that if I have to do this myself alone, it's going to be very hard.
You don't have to be alone all the time. I'm usually down here on Tuesdays.
All right. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question and want to discuss more with us about the modifier kind of thing, just drop a comment in the section below. Just drop a comment
down below.
And then, that's it, and thank you for watching.
We've got our YouTube pro right there. She should be telling us all the things to do.
Yeah, like I do all the time, like the same thing. Like, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. And all kind
hit
of
the
things.
subscribe and the like button. Click the link.
That camera is off.